Hi everyone, I am Shannon Nowak and I'm going to be talking about how I do virtual spas on Zoom today. So I know different people do different things. I know there are trainings out there, and I looked into different things and I've tried a couple of things, and this is just kind of what I do and what I found works for me. So I am gonna jump right into it. Feel free to let me know if you have any questions. I will try and keep an eye on the comments. Um, but yeah, let me know. So, like I said, this is just what works for me. So, I saw the question on how to book, so we will start there. When I am offering and asking people, because that's usually how I get people to book is asking people. So when I'm asking people if they would like to book a party, I offer them two different options. I say you can either do a week-long Facebook party or I can do a one-night virtual spa on Zoom, and just kind of spell out the different options. I send samples in both different types of parties, kind of in a little bit of a different manner. Everybody gets samples in the virtual spa, and I give them a little bit of a blurb about each. And then also the people that say that they would like to book, I kind of give them the same sort of blurb. I have it all written out and I just kind of edit it to make sure it makes sense for the situation. And so once they book, then I send them the Frank's graphic. I tell the host to make a list. And I like to tell them to keep it to 10 or less people. And I know you're kind of limiting it, but I feel like more than 10 is a lot on a video chat. Even 10 is kind of a lot. So I've capped it at 10 and just kind of felt it out on my last one. The host, she did great. She actually made this list of much more than 10 people. So I think I might go with this suggestion from now on. I kind of tweak things as I've gone along. But she had an awful lot of people that couldn't come. And so I was like, oh, well, let's still send them samples anyway. So I think we ended up sending 12 or 13 samples, and we knew a handful of people were not going to be there. And almost all of the spas that I've done, there's usually at least one or two, if not a handful of people that say they were going to come, and then they don't end up coming anyway because things happen. But I try and get them to give me a list of people that will be there. So I have this confirmed list. They've already reached out to people, and I've already been host coaching, telling her this is what it'll be like. Um, I need you to be involved and excited. That'll equal more rewards for you, that sort of thing. And I ask what sort of samples they would like. We try and pick some sort of a theme. And I tell her we can do body products, we can do hand products, we can do a mani-pedi, we can do a facial, and often we do kind of a combination. I like to do 5 or 6 samples, and I make sure they're kind of a variety of different things, but I find it's kind of nice if we do a face wash, either a mask or call it even. Call it even is really nice on a spa because it's 1 minute and then it's done, and they, feel awesome, obviously. And I feel like it's one of those that not a lot of people are interested in it, but it just, after you sample it, you're like, wow, it's really awesome. Buzz Peel is another one. I love sampling that at my virtual spas because I feel like same thing. People try it, and usually I tell them they can do it on the back of their hand, or on their elbow, or their feet. Kind of whatever they want to do. But almost every time people use it, and they're like, oh my gosh, this stuff is magical, and they love it. So that's a fun one. A moisturizer and a hand cream. So kind of a bunch of different products that kind of go together in a routine, but they're all a little bit different. And I try and pick ones that are great for most skin types. And I include, and here's how I do mine too. I know people, there's different trainings. People do really fancy ones. I do really simple. So I have these envelopes that are left over from Christmas cards. So they're not very large. I don't know the sizing of it. And then I have been taping my samples together so that they fit nicely in here. So this is kind of a little bit of a nice mix of Portal and samples that I've made, and they fit nicely in there, all taped together. You can put a butterfly stamp on there. I include my business card in there, and then I also have this piece of paper with lots of things on there. It says, "Welcome to a virtual spa night with Kelly." So I mentioned their host. And then I have the date, really large, date and time at the top. And I say, "Look for a message coming soon with more details, but don't open your samples. We'll open them together and try them on our spa night." So very important to include that, because otherwise I feel like they would open them up. And then what's in the sample pack? I like to include this because I assume not everybody's going to make it. And so it tells all the different samples and just a tiny little blurb about how to use each of them. So like, "Show me the honey face mask, leave on for 15 to 20 minutes. Very important. Buzz peel, rub gently on dry skin and wash off." You know, they need a couple of these little tips. And then I also have my site on there. I put the catalog link. I have not been including catalogs in there just because I feel like they aren't always used. And the catalog link I feel like is pretty handy, and it's almost more handy to look through the site because it has everything. I have a little blurb about Posh and what it is. Tell them you're welcome to reach out to me with questions if you need recommendations, and I have my VIP group link on there as well. And then obviously all my contact information is on here. So that goes out to everybody. And then I try and get them to people at least 3 or more days before the party. I feel like that's kind of the cutoff. I want them to have it in enough time that they can open it up and be prepared. And obviously, the host has already reached out. They should already know about it. But then, you know, they're getting it and they, ooh, you know, it's not too soon before that they forget about it. But anyway, there's kind of a nice sweet spot in there. I feel like at least 3 days is a good amount of time. 2 days before the party, I have the host open up a group chat on Facebook, and I've offered them we can either do it through group message, or I like to do it on Facebook. It just seems a little bit easier to just get all the information out there for people. So you're getting them kind of on the same page. I give the host some welcome text and they can obviously edit it, do whatever they like with it. Welcome everybody to the group, but we're all together then. And then I also welcome and I send out some tips. I didn't do this with the first one and people had lots of questions. So I learned to tell them they either need to be near a sink or have a bowl of water and some towels, or they can also do face wipes, kind of whatever works for them. I feel like being near a sink, I would highly suggest, but it just doesn't work out for everybody, and that's fine. I also send them the Zoom link and some tips, like they will need to download it before if they haven't used it. So, you know, make sure you do that before the party starts, kind of give them a little bit of a walkthrough. And then I also give them the date and the time again. And I tell them I'm excited to see them there. So gets them all on the same page. The next day, I do pampered readings through the chat group so they can learn a little bit more about the products again, and just, you know, kind of keep the momentum going. And then the next day is the day of the spa. I send a reminder in the morning. It's coming up this evening. Here's the link again. I'm so excited to see you guys. And then I also do a 15-minute reminder. Hey, I will see you in 15 minutes. So just kind of get all those reminders in there. People tend to forget things, and it's nice to have some reminders. And I do host coaching during all of this time as well. Like I said, I tell the host to be on time. I have her welcome everybody when they come on the Zoom call. I tell her her excitement is going to be contagious, kind of same thing that you would tell a Facebook host. But you know, she has to be there. And I also send out a couple of extra samples to my host and tell them if they would like to review them on the call, they can do that. If they want to, you know, talk about them in the chat group, they can. Kind of, I leave that open in whatever they would feel comfortable with. So once the chat or the Zoom call starts, I give about 5 or so minutes and I make sure everybody that's supposed to be on is on, and I have everyone introduce themselves. And Lauren had asked, how do you keep everybody from talking over each other? Well, I do my best to facilitate. I feel like I'm still learning that a little bit, but for this part in particular, I kind of say their name. So, Kelly, go ahead and introduce yourself. Sarah, your turn. And so I try and make sure, I'm the one in charge and kind of facilitating the conversation the best I can. And it seems to work out pretty well. But I have them say their name, how they know the host, and where they live, their favorite snack, kind of whatever I want to do for that day. So once we introduce ourselves, then I give a little intro about Posh in general, kind of same sort of deal that was in their paper that they got. And then I have some sort of game. So I've kind of done a couple of different things. One time I sent this or that little paper. This one was around Valentine's Day, so it says, this or that, beer or wine, sweet or salty, chocolates or flowers. And so I sent this out ahead of time and I had them either print it out or kind of be ready, to say which one that they liked. And that was kind of fun. Just something real simple, quick, but we're kind of getting into the party atmosphere. On my last one, I liked this. I did a this or that where I held up two products and I said, I introduced them like I had Call It Even and the stripper. And so I said, with this one, you're scrubbing it on your face and it's a 1 minute treatment. And then this one is really good for detoxing and deep cleaning, and I had them ahead of time have two pieces of paper and they wrote out this and that. And so they were supposed to hold up their paper on which one they liked. So that went over really well. I feel like I really liked that. They got to see a few more products and learn a little bit more about the different products. And I just tried to pick out different things that I liked, or like I had, some hand products and different things like that. I like to explain the differences between the hand cream and the body butter versus the body cream, that sort of thing. I like to get all of that in, that sort of thing too. So after that, after we play a game, we jump into the samples and I introduce each sample. So we'll start with the face wash and I'll say, this is BFF, and I will hold up the actual product. Usually I have the actual product so they can see it. And it's nice that they can actually see it, in my hand. I can show them how it opens, how it comes out, that sort of a thing. And, I talk about how to use it, um, what it does. And then I, kind of send them off, go ahead and try it and come back. And then they come back and what did you think? Tell me about it. So I get to hear their review and they get to, basically be like girlfriends that are, having a fun little spa night together, like, oh, my face feels so soft and I love how that one smelled. And it's just such a fun spa atmosphere to all be together. So I love that. And then if it's like our moisturizer, I'll do like Moisturize 911 and then I'll be like, and that one's great for, lightweight and for most skin types. But if you're have more oily skin, you would like this one. And so I kind of introduce the different, things that we have in the same sort of line. Same thing with like masks, or like I said, if I'm doing a hand cream, I will also show them a body butter and a body cream and explain, the differences and when you would use them for different things. So I use that time, to kind of explain a lot of different products and I show them, what it looks like. And then after the samples, I ask if they have any questions or if they have any other products that they want to hear more about. And sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Sometimes I'll hear questions like, I have eczema, what would be a great product for that? So, oh, well, you could use the healer or check out our honey products, so that's a great time to like shout out, other suggestions and things. And sometimes they'll just message me afterwards too, which is fine. And then after that, I tell them some specials that I have. If they order that evening, they get some extra goodies from me. Plus, I give out a prize at the end of the party. So I tell them the different ways they can get points. Every order gets a point. Ordering buy five, get one free gets a point. And I explain that. If they book a party, you get a point. And then also if they book either a spa or a Facebook party that night, they will get a free gift. And I mention any other specials or sales going on at the time, and I tell them when we'll be closing the party. Usually I give them about 2 to 3 days after the party, and I shout out, thank yous in the group as they order. So they, same thing as a Facebook party. They know when people are ordering. The host can also say thank you. And at that point in the party, I wrap it up and I tell them they're welcome to stay on and visit, but I'll be hopping off. And I've had kind of both ways. Everybody hops off, or I had one where they stayed on. The host said for like 2 hours just visiting and having a great time. So kind of a neat little time for people that are already together and they're already on a video chat and they're having fun, and it just adds to the experience. So I also, the next day, I say, if you weren't able to join us, here's the link. Let me know if you have any questions. And then, kind of same thing as like a Facebook party. I will send a reminder on the last day. Make sure you get your orders in, let you know if you have any questions. And then the final, I wrap up with a thank you. I total up the points and I post the winner. And that's basically it. So, like I said, I've changed things as I've gone along, but overall, they're super fun. They have so much more energy, I feel like. It's similar to like an in-person party where everybody's together, they're all doing stuff, hanging out. I tell them to come, very casual. You can bring a drink, you can come in your jammies, and I always tell them make sure you come fresh-faced and ready to sample and pamper yourselves. And people just love it. So they love trying the samples and hearing all about them. And it's just so fun. So, and one of my favorite things on my last one that I had a host, it was her birthday coming up. So we were kind of celebrating for her birthday, which was really fun. And then we also had one of her friends she hadn't seen in 10 years because her friend was living in Germany and she happened to be in the States at the time. So she got to jump on the call and they got to see each other and chat. And they just said that it was so fun to be able to see each other. So, anyway, lots of fun little experiences. Let me know if you guys have any questions. I don't see any comments, so I will answer any questions there are afterwards, but I would definitely recommend it. And let me know if I can help you with anything before you jump onto it. So, hope you enjoyed, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks.